What is up, guys? Welcome to my review for Young Justice Outsiders, episode 21, titled Unknown Factors. Now, this episode I thought was a lot better than episodes come in the last couple of weeks, as it pushed the storyline of the season way more, and also overall I think it was more fun. This episode begins with Dick and Jefferson Pierce going to Granny Goodness's house, going off the tip that Metron gave the team in the last episode. So I do think that this covert operation was a lot of fun. I do really like the covert operations on the show. The whole purpose of the team, which we really don't see anymore, it's the Outsiders now, but the purpose of the team originally was to be a covert version of the Justice League. So whenever we see something like that, a covert operation like we see here with Dick and Jefferson going to Granny Goodness's house, I think it's a lot of fun and it works really well. And the mystery of where they went in the episode after that scene, it was great. I think it was just a great way to start this episode. But anyway, there is a character, kind of a main character shift. Like it seemed like Dick Grayson and Jefferson will have very big roles in the episode, and they kind of do, but they're not the main characters. Instead, Aquaman or Calderon, it's kind of difficult calling him Aquaman, just like it's difficult calling Bart Allen Kid Flash instead of Impulse. Anyway, Aquaman and Wind, his boyfriend, go to Granny Goodness's house to find Dick and Jefferson, and they end up going to the Fourth World, I'm pretty sure it's called, and I think this whole sequence of events is just visually really pleasing. I don't think it's the most interesting thing that ever happened, or in this episode it's definitely not the best, but I think visually it looks really cool. It kind of has a distinct look to it, and that ends up leading to a mind-controlled Dick and Jefferson going up against Aquaman and Wind in a pretty good fight scene. It's definitely not the best fight scene ever. I think the animation here was a little limited. I mean, the characters barely moved at all. It was really just Aquaman and Wind having Jefferson and Dick in a headlock, but then also Jefferson uses his lightning powers. But anyway, I thought this fight was fine, but what's really exciting about this fight is that it might tease something to come. I think it's probably like a sample of something we're going to see at the end of the season, where maybe half of the heroes, or most of the heroes, maybe all the heroes except for the members of the Outsiders, are mind-controlled by Darkseid, considering he's getting the anti-life equation, considering every episode's first letter spells out prepare the anti-life equation. I think the anti-life equation will have a huge role at the end of the season, and what it does is it takes free will out of the equation, pun intended, and basically mind-controls everybody. So that's probably going to happen. Darkseid's going to get the anti-life equation, probably going to use it, controlling basically every hero, probably except for the members of the Outsiders, and then we have a huge fight between the Outsiders and the mind-controlled heroes as they attempt to stop Darkseid. I think that would be really cool, and I think this mind-controlled Dick Grayson and Jefferson Pierce fighting Aquaman and Wind is probably some sort of sample of that, which is really exciting and really cool to see. So after that, there's kind of an intersection of two storylines. There's the storyline at Hollywood in Titan's Tower, I'm going to call it, and then the storyline in Granny Goodness's house, also in Hollywood, and they come together in near the end of the episode. So I'll talk about the other storyline here, and then I'll talk about the intersection of the two storylines. But first of all, we have Halo and Helga. It's really Helga Jace talking to Halo and Brion about their problems, which is probably the least interesting part of the episode, because I really don't care about their relationship or their problems. Like, it's one of the most boring things about this season. It's like it started near the end of the beginning of the season, which was cute, I guess, in the beginning, but then it's literally been nothing until now in this drama. I don't care about it at all. So this was probably the worst part of the episode. It does actually lead to something interesting with what it's later revealed. It's something very unexpected that Helga is working with the Light, or at least working with Ultra Humanite, who is working with the Light, but she's probably working with the Light, which is very unexpected. It was not something I saw coming at all. So I guess it was a good twist, and I'm definitely interested to see where that goes. Maybe it turns out that she's the traitor, or the Judas, instead of Terra, who is typically the Judas in the story, the Judas contract. But she seems content with living here with the Outsiders and probably won't be the Judas. So I guess Helga will instead, which is an interesting twist, I think, and I'm definitely interested to see where that goes. But going from that part of the Titan's Tower storyline to the other part, which is maybe the most fun part of the episode, which is Beast Boy and Cyborg working out. This scene, and I think it was only one scene, was with Gar and Vic hanging out, working out together. Cyborg was checking out his new powers. He has the cannon that was taught to him by Blue Beetle, which I thought was a nice touch they added there. He even uses the mother box later in the episode, or the boom tube, I guess, later in the episode, which is pretty cool. I'm really excited to see more of Cyborg. Now we got this upgrade from the removal of the father box. I think it's going to be so cool to see him use his abilities, as since he debuted in like the end of the first half of the season, he hasn't done anything except for in the last episode where he was sitting there while other characters did things. So Cyborg being such a huge DC character, I am very excited to see more of him, and I'm also very excited to see more of him hanging out with Beast Boy, as these two are best friends in Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go, probably a lot of different things. It works really, really well, the dynamic between the two, and I think this scene is definitely an example of that. This scene was a lot of fun with Cyborg testing out his abilities, Beast Boy working out with him as well, and I think it was a lot of fun. It felt very Teen Titans-esque, which I felt like this season has had a lot of with Beast Boy and Cyborg and Terra and the Judas contract overall. This season I feel has a lot more Teen Titans in it than the last couple seasons, except for season 1 near the beginning, which had the 3 founding members of the original Teen Titans, but this season I think has the more popular Teen Titans, the one from the cartoon, it was especially Cyborg and Beast Boy, which I thought this scene alone was a lot of fun, and I really want to see more of these two characters interacting, because there hasn't really been any of it in the season, and this episode or this scene was a lot of fun, so I really want to see Gar and Vic, or Beast Boy and Cyborg, hanging out more. So this is where the two storylines come together. Cyborg boom tubes to Granny's house, and we learn that Cyborg can now boom tube, which is really cool because it's something that he could typically do, at least since the New 52 started. And we see Halo mind controlling Dick and Jefferson, and there isn't really much else there, but this definitely leads to something, as we see in the end credits scene. I guess I'll talk about it here, and I'll talk about the Karen storyline with Malcolm Duncan after this. But we see Granny Goodness look at Halo as if she's like the craziest thing ever, talking with the New God's tongue, and then in the end credit scene, Granny tells Darkseid that she found the anti-life equation, hinting at that Halo is the anti-life equation, and I'm hoping that leads to something interesting. I thought that this end credit scene was awesome. It was probably my favorite moment from the entirety of the episode. Darkseid has such a presence on this show. It's like the second time we've seen him, and I'm just so excited to see him going up against the Outsiders and the Justice League and all the DC heroes in this show, because it's really exciting, and this scene alone pushed the storyline of the season more than the entirety of the last month of episodes, and I thought that was great. It's probably my favorite moment of the episode, and it really enhanced the episode. I think it worked great as an end credit scene, and overall just an amazing moment. Also, I should say that if Halo is the anti-life equation, if she holds the anti-life equation within her, then I'm actually fairly excited to see a moment where Darkseid, very similarly to how Thanos got the Mind Stone from Vision, just rips it out of her. That is something I think would be really cool, and she dies there, because I don't like her as a character, and I think that would be a very satisfying death. It wouldn't be an emotional death for me, but I think it would be very satisfying as for Darkseid to get the anti-life equation that way. Again, very similar to how Thanos got the Infinity Stone. And the anti-life equation basically are the Infinity Stones of the DC universe, or I guess maybe it's the other way around, where the Infinity Stones are the anti-life equation of the Marvel universe. I don't know which one came first, but that is how exciting the anti-life equation is. I think it's really cool, and if again it is Halo, or at least it's in Halo, then Darkseid just ripping it out of her would be such a cool moment, a really great way to show the stakes, also have him have a very badass moment, and just get the anti-life equation, which I think at this point is inevitable, considering, like I said, the titles of all the episodes and probably the storyline they're going with. I think it's inevitable that Darkseid is going to get the anti-life equation, and it's probably the thing I'm most excited about in this season, at least the things that have basically been confirmed. The only thing left to talk about is the storyline with the former Bumblebee and Guardian, or Karen Duncan and Malcolm Duncan, where Karen gives birth to her daughter, and the daughter has a hole in her heart, so Karen has to shrink down to fix it. But also, Karen gives her daughter some unknown substance, probably related to metadNA. Now, I think this storyline was pretty good. I thought it was handled very well. I really liked it, but I don't know what the point of it was. Was it just to give birth for Karen to give birth to her daughter, and then to give her this unknown metadNA? I don't know why they put this on the show. Hopefully down the line in this season there will be some sort of explanation, because I did like the storyline. I thought it was good, but I just don't know what the purpose of it was. But overall, that's just my opinion about the storyline. I didn't love it or anything, but I did like it. It's just that I just don't know what the point of it was. So if down the line the point of this storyline is revealed, then I feel like this episode might be even a little better than it is. But overall, I don't think it affects it that much. I still really like this episode. In conclusion, I thought this episode was really, really good, and it got me a lot more excited for the rest of the season, and then really any episode before it in a very long time. The last couple episodes have just not got me excited for the conclusion of the season, but this episode really did. The storyline with Nightwing and Black Lightning going up against Aquaman and his boyfriend Wind, and that whole thing, and then also Cyborg, Beast Boy, Halo, and the rest of the episode to show up. And also, Granted Goodness learns of the anti-life equation and tells Darkseid. That whole storyline was really, really good. I really liked it. Beast Boy and Cyborg hanging out was great. The reveal of the fact that Helga Jace is working for the Light was really great. I mean, not everything about this episode was great. All the talks between Halo and Helga and Brion, not great. I didn't like those very much. But overall, I thought this episode was really, really good. So I'd give it a 9.2 out of 10. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts about this episode were in the comments down below. And if you like this let me know what your thoughts about this episode are in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.